Hey everyone, this is Adam with another FrontRunner pro tip video. We try to make these videos for some of the questions that we get asked the most here. And so this one revolves around setting up a new team member and getting your team member assigned to their goal plans. So let me start here. This takes an account you've already signed into your FrontRunner. You select agency setup, and then you're going to come over here to step 2, which is management options. The first section you're going to see is a place called Your Team. This is where you will add your new team member. You can also edit existing team members as well. Before I go any further, let me give you a quick explanation of these different roles. The manager, that is the owner of your agency, that is the owner of this account. So if you'll notice when you select edit, you're not able to edit the email address of the owner. That is for just a security precaution. So the manager is the top level. The administrator can do everything the manager can do. So if you have a team member in your office who you need to be able to see everything, access everything, you want to make them an administrator. The only thing the administrator can't do is delete the manager. Your users are your normal team members, so they're going to have their dashboards, their bonus plans, all that good stuff. They can enter sales, so that's what you're going to configure most of your team members to. And then finally, we have the category is just viewer. A viewer is one who can see the reports, see your financial payouts, see the sales. They just can't enter anything on their own. So that's a good category to give to, say, an accountant or someone who just needs to see the information but not actually enter or do anything with it. So those are the categories right there. So we're going to go ahead and create a brand new team member right here. So if you notice, this has kind of got me pre-populated here. So I'm just going to quickly refresh the screen to clear this. It can also clear it by just hitting save. And I'm going to put in a name here. We're just going to call this Jane Doe. All right, then you're going to put in an email for Jane. So we're just going to say jane@myagency.com. All right, then Jane is going to get a password, and so we're going to just call it password. We're going to set Jane to be a user, but again, you can set any of these levels here. We're going to just set her to be a user. Now, if you scroll under here, you're going to see user status. This is going to ask how you pay your team. This is really important to select the correct option. So I'm going to show you them all really quickly. If you pay your team hourly, you would select hourly, and then right here you would put the hourly rate in whole numbers. So for instance, we're going to say Jane makes $15 an hour, and we would just configure Jane's hourly rate to be this. We're also going to say that she is available to get commissions and bonuses. If you do not check that, it will not let you assign a plan to them at this point. All right, so there's $15 right there an hour, and that's how you would do that. Let me really quickly say, now we're going to pay Jane with salary, all right, and then you're going to configure their yearly salary. We're going to say $40,000. And then this will split it up bi-weekly or weekly based upon what you configure up in step 3 for how you pay your team. So here you just want to do it by the year, and then however you configure your pay periods will determine how this gets split up and then put into your financial payouts for each week or for every other week or for the month. All right, for this tutorial we're going to stay with hourly though. We're going to check off of salary. You can do both at the same time, but for this pro tip video, we're just going to do hourly. You can decide whether you want to pay your team overtime. This is a brand new feature with FrontRunner, and so we're going to say, yeah, we're going to allow for overtime, and then designate what you consider a full week is, whether it's 39.5, 40, 25 hours, 50 hours, I mean, whatever you want it to be. And then here you're going to put in what Jane's overtime rate is. So most often that's a time and a half. So you would just take the 15, split that in half at 750, and then what it's going to do is you're going to say 2250 is Jane's overtime rate. So how it'll work is when Jane is clocking in, any hours over 40 in a week is going to pay her the $22.50 overtime rate. Alrighty. Now let me show you a couple of things here. You can also configure paid time off and unpaid time off. So I'm going to save Jane here just for a second. We're going to come back to her. I want to show you how you can set up your categories for paid time off. You're going to come back to the top. You can see under team members, Jane has now been added. You can click on the manage PTO categories. Alrighty, and you can see right now I just have personal time configured, but you can say, yep, let's just do a new PTO category, and we're going to call this vacation. Right? I'm going to save the vacation one, and then I'm going to hit edit, so it'll let me. Oh, sorry, I apologize. So that'll let me change the name of that, and then I'm going to hit close. Now, all you're doing here is you're creating categories. What'll happen is now you see the vacation category is here under days off. All right, so this is going to be paid or unpaid time off based on what they select back in the module, and we'll show you where that is in just a second. So we're going to go back to Jane, and we're going to say, yep, Jane each year is going to get 10 personal vacation days. Jane is going to also get 10 vacation days, excuse me, so personal days and then 10 vacation days. And what's going to happen is that she's going to be able to request those in her dashboard. You can approve them as paid or unpaid, and then it will automatically tick these off. And then they will reset at the end of the calendar year. Yeah, so it just depends on what time you start your FrontRunner. So say you start your FrontRunner and your team only has 5 vacation days left for the year, you would just put 5 in here, and then make sure at the beginning of the new year to come back and reset what it officially should be. So that's the pay time off. You can select if they want what kinds of reports your team wants. Do you want them to get a report daily, weekly, or monthly? If they clock in, do you want them to get a timesheet report daily, weekly, or monthly? The most popular reports here are weekly. Do you want them to lock and unlock sales? Now, this is very important. A sale that they would unlock would mean that you have already verified a certain sale in an app that's been issued. You know that's the premium it was issued at, and you've either paid or you're ready to pay on that. If you lock the sale, it means that team member cannot edit it. Again, this is just for accountability purposes, but maybe you've got a team member who you want to lock and unlock sales. Maybe they're a manager, maybe they just need to be able to do that. So you can select that here as well. This right here is send notifications on failed clock-in. So you may want your team to you may want to receive an email if your team member has not clocked in on time. You know, maybe you have a large agency, maybe you're just working from home, and you just want to see who's clocked in and who hasn't, and you want to get notified of that. So you could select yes, and then what's going to happen is it's going to go by their schedule here. You can set each time they're supposed to work each day. If you set it at 8 o'clock in the morning, if Jane is not clocked in by 8 o'clock, say it turns to 8:01, 8:02, it's going to send you a quick email saying that Jane Doe is late clocking in. So that's yes or no. We're going to leave that as no right there. All right, so I'm going to hit save, and when I hit save, it is actually going to send Jane an email with her password, and it's going to give her username as well. If you've already, so we just did that. If for some reason she did not get that, you can simply hit edit and then hit resend welcome email here at the bottom, and we'll go from there. All right, so that's how you set up a team member. Let me show you, this is probably the most asked question we get. Once you add a new team member, how do you assign them to a bonus plan? So you're going to now go over to step 3. Now remember, it was important that you selected that they were eligible for commissions and bonuses. We're going to go to step 3. Then you're going to scroll all the way down here to bonus plan assignments right here. Right? You can now see that Jane has been added under the team, and you can see that I can right now I'm currently on the auto category. And I could go here and I could select a plan, a different plan for every month, or I could just go month by month and do that. That becomes a little tedious, especially if you're assigning her to multiple plans. So this is the easier way to do it. Again, I'm going to work in the auto category right now. I'm going to say auto category, and I'm going to say I want to assign Jane to the tier plan. I'm going to select just Jane, all months, and then my action is going to be apply. Now, if I look down at the bottom, Jane has now been applied to the tier plan, and I'm going to hit save. All right, now Jane is eligible for the tier auto plan. And so I would go do that same process for the rest of these categories and assign Jane there. Now, it's very important also that if you have a kicker plans that you assign Jane to those as well if she's eligible. So similar deal. I go down to Jane. I see Jane is here. I see we've got a couple of kicker plans here. One's just a test, one's a tier. So same difference. I'm going to assign Jane to a kicker plan in the very same way. So I'm going to assign her to the test tier plan. I'm going to select Jane Doe, and I'm going to hit all months. Now, the difference on this one here is that it lets you assign multiple plans and then hit save without just doing one. So I'm also going to assign her to the test kicker, all months, hit apply. Now if I roll down, you're going to see that Jane has been assigned to both of those, and I'm going to hit save. All right. So you would do the same as well for activity plans. If you've got activity plans, maybe you're bonusing out on calls, quotes, referrals, pivots, something like that. Again, there's Jane, nothing assigned. And I'm going to go here and assign, let's just assign her to the test plan, Jane Doe, all months, hit apply. You can now see that Jane is assigned to the test plan, and I'm going to hit save. Okay, well that does it for this FrontRunner Pro tip video. We hope that you are loving FrontRunner, and again, as always, if we can be of any help, you can contact us at support@imafrontrunner.com. You can open up a support ticket, or you can always give us a call at this number, and we would be happy to help.